did a test, and I'll show clips from it here, but is when you're recording, even if I have EOS webcam utility, which is a program by Canon which enables you to use your DSLR as your primary webcam. So when you're doing video conferencing, you just are able to use a camera that's like pro grade. You know what I mean? So it's really cool. It's a really neat software, and it's really great for doing video conferencing because your video looks like a billion times better than everyone else's. But the problem is that when you're recording through the program, the video comes out really grainy because the bitrate is really low. It's having to process a video conferencing program as well as screen recording, basically, the video that you're putting into it. So the video that you're getting out of Zoom when you record like that is virtually unusable. So this vlog has come together in like a really weird way, and this is my first one, so I'm not like overly concerned about the way it's gonna turn out. But something I was just thinking about with this vlog is that my days oftentimes are like really boring and sporadic, and we don't really do a lot. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in my office, or like you just saw that time lapse is 2 days process of moving my parents, and that I just stuck into one because all I could afford to do was time lapse. I couldn't, you know, walk around with the camera filming stuff because we were trying to move them quickly. But the other thing I was thinking about is just thinking about like days off. I have a friend who works like 7 days straight and never has a day off, and he just has the evenings off, and it's like really wearing and then burning him out. And I've been there before because I used to, you know, work full time and work at a church and went to school full time, and it was brutal. I slept like 3 hours a night and never had any spare time. But I was thinking about the people who talk about never having a day off, you know what I mean, always working. And I think that there's some truth to that, except that you don't want to never have a day off in that you're working like 8 hours constantly every single day, 7 days a week, because you will get burnt out doing that. But I believe in like working in little bits. So like right now I'm working on editing this vlog and filming this vlog, and that'll be my work 7 days, never a day off. But you have to have little days that are not 8 hours long or not 16 hours long. You have to have breaks. You have to have times where sometimes you may not work the whole time. So like today was a super lazy day. We just sat around like watching movies and spending time together, chilling out at the house with the dogs. But she's working out, and I'm gonna work on this vlog and work on editing things and posting on LinkedIn. So yeah, I worked 7 days, but you need to have half days or partial days, or maybe you only work 1 to 2 hours. Whatever it be, you need to avoid burnout. And I think the best way to avoid burnout is having little breaks here and there, or maybe whole day breaks that just have like a little bit of working in them. So those are my thoughts. So I never wanted to be a filmmaker. I never had the desire to like have a career in filming. I never wanted to even really do graphic design. That was always something my brother was really into. But as time went on and I started, you know, getting into more of that wheelhouse, and so I went to school. I started at Seminole State to get my associate's degree. And when I started there, I was pursuing a degree in business administration because I wanted to own my own business. I wanted to run my own business, but I had no idea what kind of business it was going to be. So I started off in my schooling going down this route of being a manager of business, being a CEO, you name it. I didn't know. I had no idea what it was going to be. And then as I started doing more stuff with that and chasing this idea of owning my own business, the more I started falling in love with the idea of producing content for people, producing things that I would design. And I had always been into photography and would like borrow people's cameras and take pictures at like events and stuff like that at church and have fun with it, but I never really pursued it as a craft. I learned the basics and that was pretty much it. But then I remember distinctly in 2017, I had a position where I worked in an office and I was training a bunch of people, and I had a ton of downtime because I did all my work. There was nothing left for me to do. I searched for things, I reorganized files, I built systems, and then I ran out of things to do. And so I found myself just dreaming about what I wanted to do for a business and dreaming about what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I kept coming back to this desire for photography, and I found Peter McKinnon, who at that point was not huge, but he was rising. And he just really inspired me to chase that dream. You know what I mean? He switched industries and stopped being a magician or a photographer for magicians and making magic tricks to then going full-time on YouTube, and now he's one of the most relevant creators on the platform. And when I saw that and saw him on the rise and what he could do and the skills he was obviously teaching me about photography and video, I started leaning more that way, and then decided this is gonna be my business. At least for now, I'm gonna be a photographer. This is what I'm gonna do. So I launched a website and I launched social media, and I started doing that. Fast forward a few years later, I find myself having a desire to produce videos like these videos I was learning from. And so then I started looking at cameras, and I bought a 5D Mark II, started doing a little bit of video with that, and then eventually I bought my 1DX Mark II, which is what I have now. And I just started doing it. I just jumped into it. I just decided one day, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and I did it. And haven't looked back ever since. And I've been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. But I never, in my wildest dreams as a kid, thought I would be doing this for a career. I mean, back when I was a little, 13-year-old, I would make stupid videos with my friends that never turned into anything because I lacked the ability to put a story together. I couldn't even plot anything. I couldn't think long enough, couldn't sit long enough to play out a whole story in my mind, let alone playing out all these different shots of telling a story visually. I just couldn't do it. And then when I started researching it and studying it and understanding how to do it, and the challenge came up, and it wasn't something simple and easy that just came to me naturally, that's when I started growing a passion for it. So I'm a firm believer that your passion should not be something that you're super, super good at, and necessarily that you don't have to put work in to be good at. And when you grow passionate for something, you have to give everything you have to pursue that. You gotta work hard. And when you work hard, it builds even more passion. When you can grow and you can develop and you can change and you can get better, it grows even more passion than you had before. See, here I am, a 13-year-old kid making stupid videos with my friends and swimming and thinking I was gonna be a pro athlete for the rest of my life, when later on in life I found a passion for filmmaking and photography, and now I'm working in that field. I would have never dreamed that I would be able to work in that field, but now I am.
I don't know how to end this vlog.
Put Elfine.
Put a what?
Elfine.
Elfine?